Alrighty, guys, I hope everyone is having a great, and wonderful day today. It is hot here in Colorado. I'm enjoying the weather. It's a great summer. It's a great finale to end the summer right before classes start again in the fall. And so, I want to kick this video off with speaking some truth, right? Speaking some truth about Moldavite, about wealth, about, the Libyan desert glass, the Zinsite, all of it, guys. I want to cover it all in today's video. And so I believe it's been like for the past couple of days, I think a week. I haven't really been keeping track of time since I don't have to right now. I don't have to worry about classes or anything. So I'm just living life right now as a timeless being. And so, guys, right now, as I'm working with Moldavite, I'm working with the Zinsite and the Libyan desert glass. I want to share with you first and foremost, what my experiences have been now with this combo, and also I want to talk about Moldavite and money, right? Moldavite and money. And I really want to talk about that because I believe it's something big, especially something now that I believe this Libyan desert glass with the Moldavite is now starting to target within my heart. And I really want to share this with you guys and let you know that I've been there. I've been probably where most of you have been at one point in your lives. I remember back in 2012, right? Back in 2012, what was it, 4 years ago? Yeah, like 4 years ago. Yeah. So 4 years ago, back in 2012, I remember the first time that I saw Moldavite, and I read that it was like a whole bunch of money. It was like $40, and back to me in those days, I was like, oh my gosh, $40, that's a lot of money. And that was way back in those days, guys. I was I didn't really have like a steady income. Like I wasn't really doing much for I wasn't going to school, I wasn't doing anything, and so it was a rough time in my life back then, but I knew I needed to work with Moldavite. And somehow or another, I came up with the money, right? I sold, things I no longer needed, and I just came up with the money. But back then, $40 was a lot to me, right? $40 for like a piece of Moldavite like this big, I thought was like a lot of money, right? Back in those days. And it's funny enough now, guys, now that I'm working with more than like 12 pieces right now of Moldavite, it's amazing to me to see like how much all this Moldavite is worth, a couple $100s, and it's no big deal to me now. And I'm super thankful first and foremost to God, because God put this, this tektite in my path, and without God, I wouldn't have taken that leap of faith. Like, he just told me to trust him. That's literally what he told me right before I got the Moldavite. I was like, how am I going to afford this? Like, back then I was scraping for like, food and just saving every little nickel and dime to eat. And he just said, just trust me. And so I did, right? I took the leap of faith. I got the Moldavite, and my life started to change for the better. Okay. Now, I don't exactly remember what happened, but I know that throughout that time, God has been working in me and healing things inside me, my beliefs about money, my beliefs about wealth. He's been introducing me to new people that think differently about money, like that love money in such a way that it's ethical, right? People who are ethically ambitious, people who are ethical with wealth and are okay with having lots of wealth. Um, I just love being around those kinds of people, like money is good. You can do a lot of good things with money, and you can do a lot of good things with wealth. And I've been going through that process. I've been going through that change working with Moldavite since 2012. And then after I took that long break from working with Moldavite, now that I'm working with it again, and now that I've paired it up, with the Libyan desert glass, there's something that I really want to share with you guys, because as I'm also doing this update on how, this combo has been working for me, I want you to guys realize now that when you have Moldavite, and I personally, first and foremost, everyone knows here that Christ and God is my foundation. So I know that as I'm working with God, working with Moldavite, I know that He's leading me, to think differently, to have a switch in my mind, a switch in my mentality, to look at wealth the way He wants me to look at it. Not in a way where I let it, I become a slave to it, but it's almost like I make it work for me. And it's not like this dominant thing. It's like basically I can just use wealth for good instead of evil. I could use it to help people. And this, especially this year, I'm so thankful for God, for putting not only putting Moldavite back into my life, but also blessing me with more than enough in abundance, where I'm able to get this much Moldavite and get as much as I want and get whatever I basically want and not have to worry about it, right? I love having that freedom, but with that freedom, I also realize that there comes this time, and this is something that I'm dealing with now, and it's new, but I'm really glad. See, that's why I trust God. See, like now that I'm working with the Libyan desert glass, this little guy I really appreciate because it just pinpoints things in my life that I need to change immediately, things that need immediate attention. And this is something that I've been noticing the past couple of days. Is this pain kind of like in my heart? It's not. It's I feel like it's pride, but it's more of impatience, right? It's impatience. When you have so much, like, when you have a good abundance of resources, and you just want to, you can just get whatever you want when you want it. And sometimes that starts to develop impatience, right? And that can lead to stress, guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but that can lead to stress. And it's something that's really been pinpointed out in my life right now is a self-esteem issue that I have, right? It's actually a self-esteem issue that I have because for a very long time, like back in 2012, I wasn't able to just go out and buy Moldavite in abundance, right? I wasn't able to do that back then. And so now that I have these resources, it's almost like I had, right, this self-esteem issue, where it's like I'm just gonna buy whatever I want whenever I want because I can do it, and I don't want to ever feel like I can't do that. And for me, guys, I finally had a revelation, today, this week, that it was becoming an issue that I was just going out and buying whatever I wanted because I felt I had this thing that I had to work inside of me because I was working with the Libyan desert glass. It's like, no, you don't need to buy everything to feel good about yourself, to feel like, to feel like you can do whatever you want whenever you want, so to speak. Like you can still say no. That's part of the whole thing. You can say no. You don't have to buy everything. You don't have to get everything. You have the ability to say no and not have to spend all your money just because you have it, right? Or because you want to feel like you have the ability to get whatever you want whenever you want because you don't want to feel like, imprisoned or stuck, it was a deep self-esteem issue that I now realize that I'm working through right now with the Moldavite, Libyan desert glass, and the Zinzite, that it was something that I needed to address and realize that I don't have to buy everything just to feel worthy of myself whenever I want. I can still, it's super nice to know that you can just go out and get what you need when you need it, but just realize you don't have to just go out and get anything whenever you want, whenever desire comes, just because you want it. You can, it takes self-control and it takes character to really be able to handle those resources and to handle, that much coming into your life, that much abundance coming into your life. It takes character as well, and that's something that I'm starting to learn as well, is that you have to know how to handle these resources. Otherwise, they're just going to be gone. You're just going to go out and spend everything, and there's other things you can do with it, like invest it and save it and make it grow, obviously. But that was something that I needed to address, and I wanted to share this with you guys because not only do I like being as transparent as I can possible at times and within limits, but in general, Moldavite will start to address issues with money, issues with all these things. And like I said, I combine it with other things. So obviously God is first, then I'm working with, I'm combining it with Libyan desert glass and the Zinzite. So this is what I'm working with right now, guys. And that's what's been addressed to me, right? With Moldavite, with money, that's what's been addressed to me. I don't know what it's going to be for you. Maybe you're way back when I was in 2012 and I thought $40 was, oh my gosh, super expensive, right? When I thought, getting Moldavite was like so out of my price range, but now it's not, right? And now it's like I just get it in abundance, right? Maybe I don't know where you're at. Maybe you're like where I am. Maybe you don't need to spend all that money just because you have it. You could save it, say no. You don't have to just feel like you have to prove to yourself or prove to other people that you have money, that you have wealth, that you can do what you want when you want. It takes humility as well, just to be humble and to handle that. And you know what, just be like, you know what, I don't need to spend all this on me. How can I be a blessing to somebody else? How can I help other people with the resources that I've been given? Instead of just thinking about yourself, it's like, how can I help? Right? Because I believe that when God blesses somebody with a lot of resources, it's not just for them. You got to help other people. You got to see where you can help and be a helping hand. So I really wanted to share that with you guys, because that's one of the areas that I'm dealing with right now is, with resources, with abundance, with wealth, however you want to call it. That's where I'm being targeted right now with the Libyan desert glass plus the Moldavite, and it's bringing up all those old emotions. It's having me deal with all those times that I felt like I lived in lack. And let me tell you guys, I do not like feeling like that. And so that's why it's been somewhat challenging for me, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be so constricted and like, oh my gosh, like a dollar is everything. Like, I know what that's like, and I don't like that feeling. It's stressful. I don't know how other people do that. Like, it's time for change. Like, it's so much better to live with resources and with wealth and be able to give to others than to just always be like in this survival mode. Like, I don't like that. That to me is unhealthy. And so that's something that I really wanted to share with you guys. And hopefully this can help you in some way, shape, or form. See where you're at with your mentality, maybe with wealth or in abundance, and just realize that if you take the leap of faith, things are going to work out. Things will start to come up to the surface that you have to change, books that you have to read, audio that you have to listen to. Like, it all just starts to work out for your good, but only if you keep persisting, right? If you quit, it's obviously not going to work. It's like working out, right? It's like working out. You have to stay persistent. You have to stay consistent, and you will get the results. But if you work out for a day, once a year, you're not going to see any results. Like, you just have to stay consistent and keep doing the work. And everything, if you're patient, like I said, I put God first, and I believe that's why this is working for me so much as well. And so that's what I want to share with you guys. For my update, that's what I'm working with right now with the Moldavite, with the Libyan desert glass, with the Zinsite, guys. Let me tell you, these guys are so powerful. Oh my gosh, these guys are so powerful. It's intense, right? It's intense. It really gets your energy up. It really just, word of caution, this really does help speed up the transformation process very intensely. It brings up a lot of anger, so to speak, sometimes, issues that you haven't dealt with. And just be prepared for that, guys. Just be prepared for that. It kind of brings up some anger issues that you may have not dealt with. But I love it. I love working with these crystals because I just love it. I love the energy that comes from it. But a word of caution, use this very wisely. If you're not prepared to handle that, if you don't have like time, I don't know if you guys are like in school or if you're working, 24/7. If you don't have right now the ability to just take some time off and, just do whatever you want, I would recommend go at it with very cautiously. Right now, I'm very blessed to have, the ability to control my time and, not have somebody tell me how to live my life. I can do and be free, which is what I love. I love being free, and I'm very thankful to God for that. So I have plenty of time to work on this. Um, very, I'm just going at this very boldly, guys. That's why I show these videos. I'm very open about what I go through as well, guys. I'm hanging on for the ride. You just gotta keep persisting. So there will be some days where maybe you notice my energy is a little weird, but it's just because I'm going through a major change. I am purging it all out. I am getting it all out, guys. I'm getting it all out, you know? So I'm hanging in there for the ride, guys. So I expect everyone else to do the same, right? You got to hang on for the ride. You got to clear all that gunk out, right? You got to go back to homeostasis, to the abundant spiritual being that you are, the loving, spiritual being that you are, just everything that you already are before you came into this earth, a heavenly being. And so I really just wanted to share this with you guys. Hopefully this video has helped you, like I said, in some way, shape, or form. This is my combo. I have my Moldavite. I believe, never mind, I'm going to leave that out. But this is my Moldavite, Libyan Desert Glass, and yeah, the Zinsight. That's what I call it, Zinsight. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, I think that there's a box over here or over there, somewhere over there. There's a box you can click. It's red. It's actually really cool. You just press it and you subscribe. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? And you could also thumbs up this video as well. And yeah, stay tuned, guys, for my next video as well. It all comes in divine timing. So thank you guys for watching. I send you guys lots of love, and I will talk to you guys soon.